Hi everybody, my name is Tamika Hall and I am the author of Meet Me at the Altar. Meet me at the altar. I'm also crazy. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I am, as you know, I'm an author. I've written over 10 books. God is just amazing, isn't he? I'm also the mother of 4. I am the wife of 1 husband, Tyora Hall. I am also a playwright. I have written the play that's currently on tour, How to Love a Saved Man. Very excited about everything that's just been going on with that. I am also a praise dancer, choreographer. I do all those things. Anything that has to do with the creative arts. You know, I don't know what it is. God just put it in me, and that's who I am. But first and foremost, I am a lover of God. I'm a worshiper. Everything that I do is about Him, and it's always about building the kingdom. So that's just a little bit about who Tamika Hall is. Wow, so how do I find time to connect with God? You know, I'll tell you, this is something that I have to make time to do that. I have to make time to do it because for whatever reason, I think I used to kind of feel like that stuff would just happen through osmosis or something like that. But that's something that, you know, I know in my life, and I'm sure it's in everybody else's life, God has really called me to really develop a deeper relationship with Him. So whether it's through music, I really connect a lot like that. I connect through my dancing and my writing. Who are my favorite authors? My favorite author is Beverly Jenkins. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, anything she writes, I already have it on pre-order. I love romance novels, and I love the fact that her books are set in a historical time. Oh my gosh, just the romance that goes into that. I absolutely love Beverly Jenkins. I also love Kayla Perrin. Kayla Perrin, I think, is a Canadian author, and she writes romance novels as well. I also like Frances Ray. I'm reading her right now. And who cannot love Kimberly Lawson Roby? Who cannot love her? Absolutely love and adore her stuff, and I especially love her stuff because she usually puts a lot of it on audiobooks. And because I'm always in the car, going to another engagement or something, I'm always listening to her books on tape. So who cannot love her? Wow, my journey to publication. Well, I'll tell you, I actually, and I'm sorry, you guys can tell I'm sitting on the floor. This is kind of like where my creative process happens. You can tell I'm definitely not conventional. And so oftentimes I will kind of be sitting here on the floor, laying down, laying on the floor, laying on the couch. I do whatever I kind of have to do to hear the many voices that are in my head. I promise you, I'm not clinically crazy. But so my journey to publication grew up really loving books. I absolutely love books. That was my way of escape. I did not ever think I would be an author. I really didn't. When I was a teenager, I found myself in an abusive relationship. I was 14 years old. And as I got a little bit older, started volunteering with the domestic violence shelter as a senior in high school, started writing articles in my school newspaper. And in doing that, I realized that there weren't any books out there that spoke to teenagers. And so I decided, well, if there aren't any books out there, then I need to write one. So that was at 17. It was just a thought process. I didn't actually put pen to paper until I was 25 and actually had my first book published. This is what it looked like. I know you're seeing it probably looks all backwards, but at that time I was Tamika Johnson, and it was He Loves Me Not, But I Love Myself, A Young Woman's Guide to Conquering Dating Violence. And I'll tell you, I wasn't really happy with the cover. I really wasn't happy with the whole process. It was an extremely expensive process because I did decide to self-publish because I submitted this manuscript, I don't know, to about 6 different traditional publishers that I felt like it was a good fit for. And because I was not well known, here I was, just this little pageant girl. Because I was not well known, my manuscript was not something that they were looking for. And so then I embarked on this thing called self-publishing, really researched it a lot, and I ended up going through a company that helped me to take it from manuscript form to a book. And I'll tell you, you know, at the end of it all, you know, I look at it now, I'm not thrilled with it now, but at the time, like there is nothing like holding your book for the very first time. But so after that, then I decided that I wanted to figure out a way to publish my book on a more economical scale. So then I went on ahead and republished the book, and at this point I designed this cover myself. So the book was released again, and I released it in 2006. You guys can see I have to look at the copyright. So I released it in 2006, and from there my speaking career really took off, and God's really blessed me to be able to travel the country and to speak to universities and schools, middle schools, churches. I have the opportunity to just speak all around the country, and from there the book has now, the name has changed to reflect the title of my speaking program, Love Doesn't Leave Bruises. And from there, you know, I've literally published more than 30 authors around the country, and now have really been focusing back on myself and on the written work that I love to do. Well, my current book, Meet Me at the Altar. Well, okay, that's not really the song, but for whatever reason, I just like to put songs to everything. Well, Meet Me at the Altar is my very first romance novel that I wrote, and it's the first of the Altar series. There's actually a second book that goes with it, and I'm currently writing the third. So the second book is Love Me to the Altar, and the third book is Restore Me at the Altar. I decided to write Meet Me at the Altar because I actually had a pastor's wife at the time tell me that she was going to pray that the spirit of me loving romance novels she was going to pray it off of me. And because she happened to see me with a romance novel. And, you know, I remember walking away from that conversation just kind of feeling very jaded. I didn't understand what was wrong about me loving romance. I mean, I felt like, you know, I tell everybody the Song of Solomon is one of the sexiest books ever written. I mean, if you've never read it, it's right in the Bible. And to me, for us women who desire romance, I mean, it's right there in the Bible. So, I mean, God created it. He created romance. He created us to love, you know, every little crevice that is, you know, of our spouse's body. Mind you, I say spouse. So to me, yes, you do have to have a license, honey. I got license to really enjoy the romance to the level that I love it. But so that's initially why I embarked on writing it, because for some reason I just, you know, I'm controversial and I'm okay with that. And because I was told that I shouldn't like it, I realized that I love romance novels, but I don't necessarily like those novels that are very raunchy. So I wanted to write something that was not like that. I wanted to write something that I enjoy. And so Meet Me at the Altar is a book that's focused on the lives of 4 different adults. You know, so you have 4 main characters. We really center around the lives of 2 women, 2 men, and all of them are dealing with different hurts. I mean, in this book, I deal with domestic violence, prostitution, we deal with drug abuse. There's a lot that goes into this book. But at the end of it all, when they come and they meet God at the altar, Meet Me at the Altar has a double meaning. So when they come and they meet God at the altar, God is the God of restoration. So not only does He restore them in perfect peace, but they also come together in their relationships. And so that's another fun way of looking at it, because of course we can meet our spouse at the altar. We can meet you know, the person we're supposed to be with for the rest of our life at the altar. But when we meet God at the altar, I think that's when ultimate healing and again the restoration and His redemptive power begins to work. So that's what Meet Me at the Altar is about. I also wrote it out of a place of devastating pain. I was going through a divorce at the time, and so you will see me in most of these characters. No, I've never had a drug problem, but my mother is a drug and alcohol counselor, so you know I have been around it. I've had family members that are around it, but a lot of the hurt and the emotions that you will read in the book at the time, those were exactly what I was feeling at that moment. And so it was a very healing experience for me. And again, this book initially came out in 2006, but brought it back, gave it a new, fresh, hot cover, honey. It's the hotness. Brought it back, redesigned the cover. Love Me to the Altar is going to be out in just a couple of months. And again, like I said, I'm working on the final book in the Altar series, Restore Me at the Altar. It was time for us to bring it back. valuable lessons that I really hope that people take away from this, and I know I've said it a few times, really it's that God is a God of love. And, you know, true love comes from God first. I really believe that. And I think that a lot of times we enter into relationships and we're broken. And I think that in order for us to really connect with our spouse the way that we want to, even if you're a woman in waiting or you're currently dating and you think that God has sent you that Boaz, you got to be whole, and you got to seek healing from God from all those things that have caused us to be shattered and fragmented in our lives. And again, true love comes from God first, and that God can restore, and his power, his blood is so redeeming. It doesn't matter what you've done. I mean, you're going to read some of these things that some of these characters have done, and I know at different times we've all felt shame, but God is a God of redemption. And so I really hope that people will take that from here. I hope that it will also spark conversation, whether it's with a reading group or among girlfriends that are reading the book at the same time, to begin having dialogue about those issues that tend to be controversial in the church. But listen, I'm sick of us having wounded soldiers in the body of Christ. And so hopefully this book will be a catalyst for conversation so we can begin the healing process. Well, Tyora, everybody from the Written Voices blog, thank you so much for taking the time to let me just talk to you, because, honey, I like to talk. And so I thank you for that. Definitely got to give a shout out to LaTanya Boyd of Faith the Believer, the Fab Virtual Tours. Thank you so much for connecting me here with you guys. And listen, this is not the last time that you're going to see me. I want you to want to see me. So go to www.tamikahall.net for more of the crazy Tamika Hall. Everybody, you guys be blessed. Talk to you later.